Hi, Dad. I'm sorry I'm not with you to keep you company and give you the hug you really deserve right now and tell you this in person, but sadly I'm not allowed. What I want to say is thank you for being my dad. Even though the road hasn't always been smooth and I've driven you mad at times and my life has never quite gone the way I know you'd have really liked it to have gone, being your daughter is a privilege. As a child, you taught me to be brave and independent and strong. You gave me my love of ponies that has lasted a lifetime and resulted in my wonderful pony family now. I was so lucky that not only did you take me riding, but you came with me too. You riding Morgan, me on Trampus. Do you remember the little grey pony that I kept falling off? You started me on my love of cars with Rover. And as a daddy's girl, I always wanted to get my hands dirty and do whatever you did. You took us to Antigua, and those amazing memories are as clear now as if they were yesterday. The amazing 365 beaches, one for every day of the year. And the barbecues, the snorkeling, the non-alcoholic pina coladas, all the things. Do you remember the church window fish that was so brightly coloured? It was just amazing. It was amazing. And even Alan giving chickenpox to the island for the first time in many years. Oh, and being chased up the beach by an octopus, as he wrote in his postcard to Mum. When you came back, do you remember our trips to Aberdaron? It's still my favourite place in the whole world. You bought our first pony, the amazing one-off, who was Rufus. And of course, Judy Donkey. I mean, what can you say about Judy Donkey, the amazing Gymkhana donkey that didn't like to go from one end to the other. She'd much rather stand where she was. And the way we used to drive with her little cart, and she had no brakes and very little steering, dependent on what mood she was in. The four-legged family outings to the Butcher's Arms on a Sunday. Do you remember the packet of crisps for Judy? As a child, you used to read me poetry. I remember when we used to come and stay with you just after you and Mum split up. And you'd read everything from Spike Milligan and his verse about string and rope to Our Albert, which I still love so much to this day, but nobody can do it the way you do it. It's from here that I developed my love of words and writing, and then you took me one step further and introduced me to the theatre, starting as a pony handler to Noggin in Hello Dolly, do you remember, with Wrexham Musical Society, through to writing my own play now. I was so proud that it was you that directed my first one-act play, Chester to Holyhead. Although I never took to treading the boards the way you did, with your inevitable smile and flair, I think When Did You Last See Your Trousers will stay with me forever. I was always so incredibly proud watching you on stage, every performance that you did. But my all-time favourite will always be Frank, when you played Frank in If You're Glad I'll Be Frank, Tom Stoppard's play. I thought you were brilliant in that, and I loved it. And how could anyone ever forget your basked Madonna-esque performance as MC in Cabaret? All the amazing ingenious sets you created, Fantastic Mr. Fox, and all the amazing things you did. You're one of those incredible, kind of annoying people who is not only intelligent from an academic perspective with your chemical engineering. I used to love the long car journeys. Do you remember when we used to go see Grandma and you'd talk the whole way about cooling towers and distillation and refining processes? And I was in awe of this. I used to love sitting and just listening to you and having those conversations, all about the plants you worked with and designed. But you were also amazing with your practical capability. I grew up watching you renovate the mill and then renovating all the other houses. I used to love coming to help you, knocking out the fireplaces, Do you remember the song, Right Said Fred, Better Knock the Wall Down? I'm not going to sing it because, as you know, I can't sing. But that always just sits with me. And you could just turn your hands to anything. Then added to that, your imagination and creativity. Need I say Macbeth the musical on ice? That makes you a unique inspiration for me and for Alan. And it's huge footsteps for us to follow in. You were so right when you stepped back from the trolley in the supermarket that day, proclaiming that life is a bent banana. And blimey, it has been, hasn't it? It continues to be day by day, but I think bent banana was probably the best description I ever heard. I wish Sam had been the way she should have been and lived, because you'd have been the best granddad in the world to her. She'd have loved you so much, just like Will and Nessa and John, I love you. I have been so lucky in so many ways to this point with you as my dad. I mean, how many daughters can say they've experienced all the things I have, with everything that we've done, from, you know, all the adventures and the theatre and the one-act plays and Antigua and all the things that we did together. How many people can say that they grew up doing that with their dad? I've been so lucky. Since the 30th of September 1971, the day I was born, you were my hero, and you will always be my hero to the end of my days. You have made me the person I am today.